It's time for Transport Line, the program that showcases the contributions of all modes of transportation to the socio-economic growth and development of our country, Africa, and the rest of the world. Transport Line is being beamed to you from the Center of Excellence, the state of aquatic splendor, and Africa's second largest economy, Lagos. I am Shina Elegbede. Glad to know that you are keeping us company. The road mode of transportation is most important when you consider the multimodal mode of transportation. And this hinges on the fact that there is no way you will link all this multimodal system of transportation without either using the road, you go, railway, aviation, inland waterways, you still come back to road. And that shows you the importance of the road mode of transportation. I think this aspect of movement, successive government in Lagos State have good insight to make sure that we have a smooth, efficient, and effective mode of transportation. Recall, 25 years ago, a body called LASTMA was established to tackle the challenges, intricate challenges precisely, of transportation in Lagos State. LASTMA then has retired Commissioner of Police, Yemi Odubela, as the pioneer CEO. And we tell you then that the beginning of wisdom on Lagos Road is when you observe and obey LASTMA. But that was a long time ago. So what's the story all about LASTMA today? What has been the achievements? And what are the challenges LASTMA we believe they will be facing? Well, I have with me in the studio a public affairs analyst and a seasoned journalist for that matter to join me to let us look at achievements and challenges of LASTMA at 25. The person is Adeyinka Aderibigbe. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, sir. It is an honor sharing this ambience with you.
I'm really humbled.
Thank you very much, sir.
Adeyinka, you know, funny enough, in this profession, no matter who you are, when you get on set, whether your colleague, your senior, your junior is Shina Yinka.
Exactly, sir.
So let's do it the professional way.
It's all right, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yinka, LASTMA is 25. What has been the achievements? And before we look at the challenges ahead.
Yes, thank you. It's a product of good hindsight that way back July year 2000, the then governor of Lagos, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, now the president of Nigeria, could think up this body or this agency called LASTMA. Before then, what we have was police traffic officers, which the late Fela Anikulapo Kuti, God rest his soul, even waxed a song for then. Remember the yellow fever? You know, they were the ubiquitous officers on the roads. They were in charge of managing traffic. But realizing that Lagos was then netting 10 million population, the then governor decided that there is the need to develop competence, to develop homegrown solution, to develop a state-owned agency that could manage traffic in Lagos State. And so you have that agency called LASTMA, which is the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority. Now, that is exclusively to manage traffic. In other words, they have three major mandates: to enforce traffic regulations, to drum awareness about what the traffic regulations were actually, and then to manage traffic. They've been very wonderful in those three. And over time, because of the size of the state, they've even added more mandates. Now you find them managing doing crowd control even at event centers now. If you want to organize an event, public place and all, you need to inform them to help you manage the traffic ingress and egress. And so that is one of the things that they are now doing. They are also helping in training fleet managers about how to organize their men in terms of managing in-house their traffic situations. They also give consultancy services in the areas of traffic management and enforcement related issues. So they are morphing into a very big organization. And of course, very important to mention, before them, there were no cadre in the civil service called traffic officers. Today, the present man at the helm of affairs grew from the ranks. In fact, today, the man sitting as the permanent secretary, Ministry of Transportation, was a former LASTMA GM. So you find that they have morphed into an agency that now has a civil service cadre. People can enter the civil service today on the traffic officer's cadre, just as you can enter as a health officer, just as you can enter as a teacher with the Civil Service Teaching Commission. So you can also enter as a traffic officer, grow through the ranks to even become the general manager, to even become a PS. That is the beauty of the idea that was created in the year 2000.
Yeah, Adeyinka, it's been a long time. 25 years is no joke for an individual, not to talk of an agency that is saddled with the intricacies of traffic management in the mega city now.
Yeah.
You look at LASTMA, like you said, population Lagos State, about 10 million today, we're roving between 20 and 25 million. How did you assess LASTMA performance? Let's take it in the last 5 years. In terms of efficient and effective traffic management and control.
LASTMA has been tremendously efficient in managing traffic. In some areas, they even work till very late in the day. Some thick travel areas, they work till around 12 midnight, even 1 a.m. Just so that you will be able to have a saner road to ride. They are also the go-to in area of travel advisory, in traffic reading, telling you ahead where there are congestions for you to avoid, if there are alternatives. And when you are actually in the thick of it, telling you how soon the impediments ahead of you will be removed, or whether it has even been removed, for you to be assured that yes, in a matter of minutes there will be traffic flow. Now the government has even gone far ahead in the area of equipping them with the right technology to go. You have body cameras today that was not there before.
Using technology now.
Yes, so technology is advancing and is enabling and is empowering and is ensuring that they do the work better than they were doing before. There are even silent LASTMA today, traffic, intelligent traffic systems, the lights are on in so many areas or so many junctions today that were not there before. These are areas that the state has actually grown. As a matter of fact, if you don't put your heart to it and you just dash out of Lagos and you spend like a year or two, for you to come back, you find out that you won't be able to recognize your state again. That is if you stayed here for some time. Because the state is growing and expanding and improving and increasing on so many areas at the same time. Yes, I would say that LASTMA in the last 5 years has really changed the face of travel in Lagos. They have their issues, but that other states are coming here to study the templates show that there are so many good things that LASTMA has done on Lagos roads that you begin to wonder if they were not created, what would have been the state of
confusion? Yeah, thank you, Adeyinka. You look at, we've spoken about the achievements, so to say, to date about LASTMA, but like any field of human endeavor, we need to better our best. Yeah. There must be that area or those areas where we should improve and upgrade our services. And that is why I want you to look at the challenges. For instance, for those of us that reside in Lagos, we found out that yes, the hotspots during journey inward bound on a daily basis, not all areas are properly managed. We are in a situation, you find in some spots, you have about 5 or 6 LASTMA officers or officials there. In some areas, is ball of confusion, and you won't find a single traffic LASTMA officials. What should be done?
The thing is, you can't get enough workers. And one would have urged the government to do more in the area of employing traffic officers, LASTMA officers. Because when it was created, you have 20 local governments. Now you have to contend with 57.
For the LCDA?
With the LCDA, 37 LCDAs. So there's need now for them to go further, than they were originally penciled to do. So they need more hands. And that's even why there is that need for, a cadre for them, But then you realize they need special training. And that is why, apart from the agencies really doing so much in the area of in-house training, many of them are also seizing the opportunity of going to LASU, the School of Transport and Logistics, to also better their lot, arming themselves with modern trends in transportation issues and management. So all of these, I agree with you. There are so many dark spots. There are so many black areas that are not yet covered. But like one of the former governors of the state used to say, they are on the way. And very soon, they will get to those areas.
Yes, Adeyinka, they're on the way. The earlier we get there, the better for everybody. Exactly. Because when you look at the situation on hand, hotspots, you have 10 officers, which really, when you're talking about human judicious management of resources, 4 officers will have been adequate. You take 10 officers there, and that is minus the police officers or what do you call these yellow people?
Traffic officers.
Traffic officers, One thing that is glaring is that what is endemic in the society? That is corruption. Because you can get this from the motorists or what have you, irrespective of the introduction of technology into traffic management. In this day and time, we are supposed to have monitoring units. We are supposed to have people to see that, look, certain areas on a daily basis, Adeni Jones Junction, on a daily basis, You go to Otedola Junction, Otedola Bridge area on a daily basis. You go to CMS, all those areas that are hotspots, especially during closing hours, inbound bounds. What I'm trying to happen is that, look, yes, there is anywhere you have adequate resources being provided. That is why you have managers.
Yeah.
And managers are supposed to use their knowledge, intelligence, and wisdom to manage the resources being provided for you. But in this case, on a daily basis, 25 years is no joke. And they've seen it. The history should be there for them. But today, we are still having the same problem. Go to Ogba. Okay? So, what should LASTMA management do in respect of ICT? Because the issue, unless I forget, the issue of the yellow buses are there. And I tell you, government too is not really assisting LASTMA to solve the intricate challenges of traffic management in Lagos State. I don't know whether it's direct from above or not, because successive Lagos State government, either information commissioner or transport commissioner, have refused to answer that question. As LASTMA officials have been given a directive to look the other side when yellow buses are committing these iniquities as regards violation of traffic laws. What is your comment?
Well, I really would not agree that LASTMA is looking at the other side.
For yellow buses?
For yellow buses.
When they break,
they
violate, they don't work for traffic light. Oh. Unless you want to tell me, Adeyinka, you've never witnessed such. Go to Adeni Jones. Even junction here, Obafemi way by Latif Jakonde. You see them. And those officers, I've spoken to some of them. Oga, we're helpless. That's what we can do. Because one day, somebody will have been passed, given the right of way to go, green light, and is the correct way or what have you, just dashing. They keep on looking the other way, and you say there is disaster. That is disaster waiting. Government should do something about it.
Yes, I agree with you. I think, looking at the service point end, perhaps what is informing the way they do is the fact that a Korope, for instance, carries 7-8 people going to different directions, unlike a one-man passenger saloon car that has just one unified direction. Now, if you apprehend on the spot, you disorientate and you may even end up putting into trauma the passengers of a Korope, for instance, and not to talk of a Danfo that has 14, not to talk of a midi bus, not to talk of, so you look at what is the import of what you want to do, and whether there are alternatives to doing so. And I've worked with them. I know that they go to the different parks. And that is why you have the Acne permit written on the vehicles. That's the reason why those things were there. So they go to the parks to make the enforcement. And they don't release until that enforcement was done. So for the driver, for the owner, they face the music back end. You may not know it on the road because of the need to save the passengers from the trauma. And don't take your mind off the fact that the road mode is the most neglected. It's actually supposed to be most served. There's the need for government to increase its presence there. But until they do that, these people must continue to serve the people, the commuters. And so you need them for now until that end is served. So that is my view. And it's not as if LASTMA is unmindful of that. They are also working at ensuring that there's sanity. I think a year ago, they had a control center launched in their secretariat, in their headquarters, that at a go you can see the Lagos roads. They pick these vehicles. I know they do. The Commissioner of Transportation did brief the media, I think last week. And they reeled out how many vehicles have been contravened in the last 1 year, including commercial vehicles, including this Korope that we're talking about. So it's that if you escape, you are just lucky to. Next time you might not. And that is actually what is playing out for most of them. I know the VIS, that's not the issue for here today. But I know even the director of VIS,
Fashola?
Yes, was actually on this matter, talking about taking off rickety buses. And so all of these are working together to ensure that Lagos State is safe, is worthy, is managed, and is plied by sane drivers using good vehicles to move people on the roads.
Adeyinka, I'm not convinced. I'll say that to the Marines, that yellow buses, Kurope, Keke Napep, and what have you, are being clandestinely disciplined by government. No. If they do, they won't be committing that same offense day in, day out. Remember the point I just made. In case you are driving, the traffic light gives you green, you move on. And this Kurope or Keke Napep just coming, dash on the road. It's not a question of whether you are carrying 14 or 1 passengers. No. The law is there to be obeyed. And if these people actually, in all honesty, are being caught and being disciplined and being prosecuted, don't wait till ministerial briefing or what have you to let us know. If you violate, you break the traffic light, you'll be amazed. Before you reach your next post, SMS will come in. Mr. Adeyinka Aderibigbe, your vehicle on so has done this, 50,000 naira fine, and they give you the photograph. If you don't do it, they will say they impound your vehicle. They give you a number of days. Everybody is equal before the law. And the thinking is that these are sacred cows, and that should not be, because we are all taxpayers. But let's leave that. That for government officials to handle.
To handle, exactly.
Honestly speaking, that for government officials to handle, to look into. And I tell you, it can be done, because every park, you have chairman for these people. Talk to them. I tell you, they will listen. There are merits and demerits when you have huge population.
Yeah.
One way or the other, they are contributing to the GDP of your state.
Of Lagos.
You use that income, part of it, to look at all these challenges. And that is what we are asking government. Fantastic. Nobody's contesting that. When you put the scale down, LASTMA has performed in the last 25 years. But again, we can do better. And that is what we should achieve. That is what we should strive to achieve. Don't let us give government or anybody excuse. We want a better and safe society. That way, safety starts from you and I.
Exactly.
So we should do it.
Exactly.
Adeyinka Aderibigbe, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having me. It's nice being here.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We go now. Again, like this broken record I used to sound, sing song is be compassionate. Times are still hard out there. Be your brother's keeper. Compassion is the key word. One way or the other, try to mitigate the suffering of your fellow Nigerian. With that way, say bye-bye for now.